Arsenal are getting back to full strength at just the right time. Freddie Ljungberg, a welcome addition to the squad as the champions spearhead a four-pronged Premiership attack on Europe. And this year, the challenge from England could be a formidable one.
At the moment, I believe it's the best place to be in European football. The Premiership is capable to dominate the European League, but Spain is still a strong opponent, and they look like they can. Two big teams can gather there all the money to build a big European team. It doesn't necessarily mean that the Spanish league is the best in Europe.
Tonight, Arsenal face the best from Germany, the Bundesliga champions Borussia Dortmund. Both are favourites to qualify from Group A. Though Arsene Wenger has pointed at the Spanish threat to English hopes in the competition, only Liverpool have been drawn against a side from La Liga, the champions Valencia.
Never has a Champions League season dawned at Highbury with so much hope and expectation. Is this, at long last, to be the year when potential gives way to meaningful achievement? There's one shock in Arsene Wenger's selection. With Edu injured, Freddie Ljungberg appears in a club shirt for the first time this season. He's just recovered from a hip operation and is back sooner than expected. Luzhny keeps his place at right-back. Only Pires and Van Bronckhorst are long-term absentees. Matthias Sammer has surprised everyone by leaving out the Dortmund captain Stefan Reuter. Playmaker Thomas Rosicky and experienced defender Christian Wörns are both injured, so there are rare starts for Fernandes and Maduni. This is a fairly defensive lineup. And despite being one of Europe's most experienced officials, Anders Frisk is paying his first working visit to Highbury. Champions of England against champions of Germany, a heavyweight European occasion, and whilst it's surely on foreign fields that Arsenal really need to prove themselves, they can't afford any slip-ups at Highbury, where usually they're rock solid. David Pleats with me. How do you see this one, David?
Well, it's a fascinating game, contrasting starts to the season. The Germans have only won one so far. I expect them to play very much on the counter-attack, and I see Kohler, the tall, lumbering centre-forward, as a little bit of a lone ranger as the game develops. But Arsenal have pace to burn, and now I think now that Ljungberg has been given the confidence vote, I have to predict the home team.
Dortmund in their vivid yellow shirts, which became so prominent when they won this trophy in 1997. Here's Thierry Henry with Wiltor in the centre, and appeals for handball. Waved away by Anders Frisk. Was it hands? Ashley Cole. Henry to Bergkamp. Wiltor. And Dennis Bergkamp. No great power in the shot.
Didn't quite get hold of the ball, but there you see the link-up and the importance of Bergkamp pulling the strings.
Everton. Henry. Looks to have the beating of several of these Dortmund players, among them Sebastian Kehl. It's as if he wasn't there. There's Matthias Sammer, only 35 earlier this month, the youngest coach ever to win the Bundesliga title. Maduni, header away by Cole, only as far as Torsten Frings, who's brought down by Vieira. Free kick Dortmund.
First real diagonal ball we've seen played in. There we see it, probably looking for Kohler. Beyond him, Ashley Cole's clearance, picked up by Frings, getting a yard on Vieira.
In training last night, Dede was striking the ball very sweetly from this sort of distance. And it'll be Dede to strike it! Not bad for height, but it was always swerving away from goal.
It's a nice clean hit, but I just wondered, did he need a stationary ball then? Did he want him just moved a fraction, didn't it?
They've won 14 of their last 17 European matches here. Away from home, they've lost 9 of their last 11. It's unacceptable. Fernandes. Everton. Deflection off Martin Keown's heel, and it's a corner.
Well, he certainly didn't have a clear sight at goal, Everton there. Took a chance. Could have got lucky through Keown's legs. Decided to take the shot early.
Madouni on the near post. First and second header. Well, first header by Campbell, then he missed it. Wiltor. Now here's a true speed merchant. It's Henry. Vieira far side. Dortmund doing a fair old job in holding him up. But still, he got away a very threatening shot, and Lehmann was fortunate it didn't fall to a red shirt.
Yeah, Wiltor was ready to pounce. Good break by Henry.
Frings. Kale. Fernandez. Dortmund without Rositzky in particular. Fairly workmanlike team. Not a whole lot by way of flair, but maybe you wouldn't expect it in an away match at Highbury for them.
I think they miss Amoruso too, a very good forward player.
Lars Ricken is also out injured at the moment. Veteran of their win in 1997. Here's Bergkamp, that's lovely. Henry set himself and almost waited too long. Sliced it.
Oh, the ball was moved at lovely angles there. Ljungberg, Bergkamp, Henry. Can't get set. Borussia defenders can't get set when the moves are played at such pace. And there's the drive. It did go through the legs of Heinrich.
Perez watching on tonight. He is back in light training. Ljungberg did ever so well to keep his footing. Here's Henry, and now it's Wiltor. Good save by Lehmann, made himself very big very quickly.
Here's the pass that led to Wiltor's attempt, but we must give credit for Lehmann.
Jörg Heinrich. Evan Nielsen to Frings. And three up with him this time, which is dangerous. There's Fernandez. And credit to Oleg Luzhny.
Absolutely, he got into a super position to thwart the threat there of Fernandez, and coming up behind him was Everton in the box. It was a good break. Ashley Cole just caught there with that little ball behind him.
They've sent some fairly tall men forward in Madouni and of course Koller. On by Heinrich, just too long for Kale. Everton. Fernandez will strike it, and Seaman was stranded.
Well, didn't he strike it lovely? Took it with his right foot and drove it with his left foot.
Came off the top of Luzhny's head. Dortmund more than happy, one suspects, with 0-0 as we approach half-time. Other teams in this group that they've still to face, PSV Eindhoven and Auxerre. But that's it for the first half at Highbury. Best chance fell to Sylvain Wiltor with a shot set up by Thierry Henry that was blocked by Jens Lehmann, who set an important lead in the Borussia Dortmund goal. But at half-time at Highbury, it's Arsenal 0, Borussia Dortmund 0. Arsenal don't generally go in for goalless draws. Dortmund would happily take one. So it's up to Arsenal to make the running. And what do you think David Pleat has been said in that Arsenal dressing room?
Well, I think Wiltor will stay wider. I think to make the spaces for Bergkamp to slide the balls. I think that him by coming too far infield, he was just, you know, crowding that little bit of room that Bergkamp needs to push Henry and Ljungberg through coming off the left touch line. I think from the Dortmund side, they'll be quite happy. Not only the fact that they haven't conceded, but they just shaded the possession in that half, and Arsenal didn't have any concerted period of pressure.
Wiltord. Dede. Everton almost caught out by Ljungberg. And here goes Henry. Offside flags up. This won't count. Hold the celebrations. It's still 0-0. Flag was up very promptly.
Well, good spot, John. You'll pass your referees, of course, because I have to say that the orange and yellow flag on that far side certainly did go up quickly, but it's very difficult to decipher against the back cloth of the crowd there.
Cut of the grass gives a clue, doesn't it, and suggests the referee's assistant was right.
Oh, absolutely right.
Sven-Göran Eriksson might well shake his head. A half-time interval without any substitutions. What on earth's going on? Collar. Sebastian Kehl. Dede. Fernandes nicely back to the Brazilian Dede. Two waiting to attack the cross. Well played Keown. Evan Nielsen.
Well, he can smile, but Matthias Sammer won't be smiling. It was so careless. You know, a good 1-2 on the left, a great ball in by Dede. And it felt quite invitingly. He could have had a touch, but he decided to go for the big whack and got overexcited and got his body shape all wrong.
Gilberto. Bit of wrestling involving Henry and Madouni.
Not the best of balls for Henry to cope with, actually, from Gilberto. Moroccan player, centre-back, Madouni.
Wiltord. Gilberto. Wiltord. Ljungberg left it for Bergkamp! Oh, yes! Explosive, exhilarating, and definitely worth the wait.
Ball came from a throw-in. Wiltord walked the ball into the middle, went for the 1-2, found a little bit of space, and then Bergkamp did a clever turn, aided by Ljungberg's little decoy run.
I think it came off Metzelder as well. There was a nick off Metzelder.
Yeah, I'm sure it got a deflection over Lehmann. Just gave Bergkamp half a yard. He just drifted it.
1-0 satisfactory for Arsenal, 2-0 would be comfortable. Doubt always remains. Here's Heinrich. Blocked by Keown. Dortmund seeing more of the ball than for a little while now. Arsenal though, escape. Henry straight offside. Ljungberg isn't though. And Henry is waiting for the cross in the middle, needs to stay behind Ljungberg. Oh, selfish. Should he have pulled it back?
Well, it would have been very interesting because Ljungberg would have gone through and it would have hit the keeper and come back, and just say Henry would have scored. Henry was way offside in a secondary position. There you see it, when Ljungberg goes through. I think it was very close indeed. Ljungberg himself might have been offside, but Henry certainly was, and so Ljungberg had to go alone.
Evan Nielsen. Lauren. First chance for him to stride forward. Just back from knee trouble. Keown. Henry. Vieira. This is nice from Arsenal. And here's Henry. And there was the chance to seal the game.
Precise, clean, quick passing. Henry on the end of it. Just can't sweep the ball in, and Wenger knows and claps and responds to a very good piece of play. Lovely layoff and the spin of Henry. The quick ball of Vieira, and then the wonderful ball in. Could have been a picture goal.
On historical note, 65 years ago yesterday, this Highbury Stadium hosted the first ever live televised football match anywhere in the world. A thriller between Arsenal and Arsenal reserves. That's where it all started. Keown. Arsenal failing to clear until a decisive intervention from Gilberto.
Lauren was just caught then. Bit rusty, I don't know what he was really trying to do. Was he trying to keep the ball in? Gilberto to the rescue.
Well, with Herrlich in there, and Madouni and Koller, there's a fair bit of aerial ability in the Dortmund team. Wasn't really called into play. That's a good throw out by Seaman to Wiltor. Ljungberg jogging, Henry sprinting. Lovely cushion touch. Ljungberg, gaping net, 2-0. And Freddie Ljungberg is back with a bang.
Well, Ljungberg will take the credit for the goal, but it was a wonderful throw out by David Seaman. He caught the ball cleanly, he saw the break, he threw it fast, and then the setup was for Ljungberg to crown a good return for him this evening. Took it cleanly, Lehmann had no chance, he started to calm, he hesitated, he knew he couldn't get there.
It's just a question mark over a possible offside when Henry played the ball to Ljungberg, and if you look at the cut of the grass, Borussia Dortmund do have a case. He wanted a winning start. Frings, Keown, who's won a great deal in the air. Evan Nielsen. Good reactions by Seaman because he's been underemployed. Apart from creating goals, he's not had to stop many.
No, I think that's his first serious stop, and that was from 25 yards and a little bit speculative. Evan Nielsen.
Arsenal off to just the start that they wanted. A winning one. A brief cursory handshake between Messrs Wenger and Sammer. Arsenal off to a victorious start at Highbury. All they could have asked for. Now they need to prove they can win away as well. But a happy Highbury with a full-time score of Arsenal 2, Borussia Dortmund 0.
Arsene, you got there in the end. An important win, a deserved win?
I believe so, yes. We were patient, and I think we have shown a lot of maturity, and we've seen that the team has learned a lot. And overall, I think we created 3-4 good chances in the first half and as well in the second half. Looked always like scoring. Of course, it was a case of not conceding a stupid goal, and then I always felt we will win it.
What did that goal mean to you? I imagine it's been a tough time for you, not playing and being injured and fighting your way back.
Yeah, I mean, I was delighted. I mean, many people that haven't really known what I've done with my hip operation said like it was career-threatening and stuff like that. So it was nice for me to show that I still can play football.
This was Arsenal's first clean sheet in 15 Champions League games tonight, which says something maybe about where you've gone wrong in previous seasons. Not you, but generally.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a tough league. You know, it's quality players. You know, so you're going to get goals, and it's not about clean sheets. It's about victories. You know, I don't mind whether it's 6-5 to us, you know, or 1-0 or 2-0. You know, as long as we win, that's all that's important.
We're the champions of one of the biggest leagues in Europe, in the world, and yeah, we want to do well on the highest stage, and we got the players for it, we got the team for it. I think we've proven that. So you want to aim high because I think we could do it, and then you shouldn't be afraid of making those comments. Just try and go out there and try and win it.
Arsenal bullish, as you might expect, and you also might expect, John, a home win, but you might be surprised to learn that it's in 5 campaigns the first time they've started the Champions League at home, and that helps to get off to a winning start.
It does help, especially the home form that Arsenal have shown in Europe, and they were well worth their victory. Dortmund obviously had more possession than Arsenal, but in terms of the quality, with Koller up front by himself, without Rosicky, who gives him a little bit of a flair and invention, they really never tested the Arsenal back four. So for all the possession Dortmund have, they didn't really, you know, create anything. And Henry getting out wide, you know, Arsenal in the second half, particularly when they upped the tempo a bit, really caused Dortmund problems.
They will, for as long as it remained 0-0, have been slightly anxious for all that they were creating chances. It's good to get that first goal, and then you know you've got the game where you want it.
It is good to get the first goal, but as I said, they were playing high balls up to Kohler all the time, and it didn't really cause any problems. But here you can see the first goal, where Wiltord comes in off the line, and here he plays a lovely reverse ball into Bergkamp, and it's a great finish. Got a slight deflection, but it's a great finish. You know, and that's what Bergkamp's all about. Here you can see Wiltord in, and so is also Ljungberg. You got the two wide men coming in, which gave a lot of room to Bergkamp to put it in the back of the net. So although, you know, probably they're a little bit narrow at times, if you're coming at the right time, as both Wiltord and Ljungberg showed then, you know, it can be very effective. Yeah. And that's why all the goals he has this season,
Drifting
because he comes in off wide, and so does, and that's Ljungberg's trademark.
Yeah, and of course Freddie is back.
Well, he's back with a bang, and you know, here you can see some instances of him doing what he does best. Once again, here he's right in the middle of the field, driving forward, great ball by Vieira. Legs run out of legs a little bit there, but you know, that'll come. Here once again, in the middle of the park, doesn't stay wide. A better ball by Bergkamp, he would have been in on goal. And here you can see, possibly should have squared it for Henry, but nevertheless, he had a good shot, which really should have been a corner. But he was excellent all night, driving forward. And this is obviously, you know, a fantastic goal. And considering he's been out for that length of time, the fact that he can get out of the park as he does, once again, Wiltord breaking forward. This was a great ball by Henry. A slight question mark about offside, but nevertheless, you know, for Ljungberg, after being out for so long, to still be driving forward and to be able to run the length of the field, shows how incredibly fit he is.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fantastic.
I mean, he will play right on the shoulder of the last defender. That's Ljungberg's game.
You can see here. I mean, obviously here, Dede is the defender who's involved, and judging from those lines, he's offside. But you know, these days you have to see air in between them.
You do.
I don't know how you see air in between, but nevertheless, there wasn't any air in between them, and the referee played on. There, you know, I think by the law now, I don't think he's offside. Obviously, the lines on the ground are where your feet are, but apparently you don't look at the feet anymore. You look for some air in between players.
And just a word on the fact that home wins have been Arsenal's benchmark in the Champions League. It's away points that they need to pick up. They go to Holland and PSV next week, and that perhaps is more of a test than tonight.
Definitely, and I like to think that it's not a psychological barrier for Arsenal, because they've been, you know, virtually unstoppable at home in the last couple of years, and the away form really has let them down. I think if Arsenal can get through the group stages, the knockout stage is ideal for Arsenal, because I can't see anyone outscoring them over 2 legs. But first of all, they have to get out to the group stages, and that means picking up points away from home.
Arsenal top of Group A with 3 points, a point apiece for Auxerre and PSV, as you've seen. Arsenal go to Holland next week, as we've said.